Distinguished alumni and guests, please welcome to the stage the president of the ComArtSci Alumni Advisory Board, Matt Davis.
The celebration. Tonight we gather with stars and legacy, a sea of green, a heart of gold, voices that carry proudly. This is the celebration of stories told, of dreams chased, and of milestones made reality. From Beaumont Tower, the bells ring bold, echoing through the campus, timeless and old, past whispers of history and voices anew, to the banks of the Grand River, steady and true. This is ComArtSci, where communications is power, where bold ideas rise, and leaders are inspired. Where faculty and staff with brilliance and grace shape the minds that shape the world and elevate this place. Our alumni, exceptional, from newsrooms to boardrooms and all around the world. They carry the torch bright and alive, showing what it means that Spartans will thrive. We've got a legacy of excellence. It's not just a phrase. It's in our halls, our labs, our DNA. In every student's journey, in every scholar's quest, because here at MSU, we always give our best. So here's to the triumphs, both quiet and loud, to being humble, but yet always Spartan proud. As our fight song declares victory for MSU, that's not just tradition, that's what we do. So raise your voices, lift them high, go green, go white. This is our night, because tonight, it's more than a gathering. It's a spark, a vow, a declaration. We are Spartans, and this, well, this is the celebration. As tradition at the celebration, we begin by standing together for the singing of our alma mater, MSU Shadows, and tonight we have a very special guest with us, Mackenzie Rosser, accompanied by the Red Cedar String Quartet.
MSU, we love thy shadows when twilight silence falls, flushing deep and softly paling o'er ivy-covered halls. Beneath the pines we'll gather to give our faith so true, sing our love for alma mater, and thy praises, MSU. When from these scenes we'll gather, and twilight shadows fade, our memory still will linger, where light and shadows played. In the evening oft we'll gather and pledge our faith anew, sing our love for alma mater, and thy praises, MSU. Go green!
What an incredible performance by Mackenzie Rosser and the Red Cedar String Quartet. Can we please give them another round of applause? Good evening, everyone. And welcome. I'm Heidi Hennick-Kaminsky, Dean of this amazing college here at Michigan State University. What an incredible night to be together in community, celebrating the accomplishments of our alumni. And how about that poem from Matt? Let's give him a round of applause. Matt, I am going to have that printed out and calligraphied and framed and put that in my office. So thank you so much for that gift to all of us tonight. Before we begin, I would like to recognize a few special guests joining us this evening. We are so grateful to have members of our ComArtSci Alumni Board here tonight, as well as Trustee Rebecca Bahar Cook. So thank you for joining us. The ComArtSci Alumni Board reflects the breadth, talent, and energy of our community. Representing various disciplines and perspectives, our board members play a key role in strengthening the value of a ComArtSci degree. Through mentoring students, visiting classrooms, opening professional doors, and providing thoughtful leadership and philanthropic support, they help shape an exceptional educational experience for our students. Board members, could you please stand and be recognized? I would also like to recognize a board member whose service has left an indelible mark. Brian O'Connor has completed 10 years. 10 years as the longest serving member of the ComArtSci Alumni Board. Brian, I am so grateful for a decade of leadership, for your extraordinary support, and everything you have done to invest in our board, in our college, and it just continues to pay dividends, so very grateful. We are also honored to welcome university leaders. We have Trustee Bahar Cook with us tonight, too. And of course, to all of our faculty, staff, students, alumni, and friends in the room with us tonight, welcome. I want to start tonight by asking you to do something simple. Take a step back in time with me for a moment. If you want, close your eyes. Think back to when your ComArtSci journey began. Maybe for some of you, like our board chair, Matt, it was your first steps as a toddler outside Beaumont Tower. Maybe it was taking your first steps into a classroom as a first-year student in this very building. Maybe it was your first shift in a student newsroom, the first time you stepped into a studio, or the moment a professor asked a question that completely changed how you thought about a problem. At the time, it may have felt like, oh, just another class, but something bigger was starting to take shape. At ComArtSci, we do more than teach concepts and skills. We develop critical thinkers and problem solvers, future leaders who know how to ask better questions, how to see challenges from new perspectives, how to understand audiences and connect with them empathically, and how to communicate ideas in ways that matter. And just as important as learning these skills is having the opportunity to practice them. Providing these opportunities has always been part of our ComArtSci DNA. Whether it happens in a newsroom, a research lab, a studio, a student-run agency, a community partnership, or a client project. Or even the early shift at MSU Bakers, which prepared one of our awardees for her career at WJR. Our students are constantly applying what they learn in real settings with real impact. Those moments are where confidence grows, where curiosity turns into capability, and where students begin to see what might be possible for their future. Many of you here tonight launched from this college with those experiences and skills, and now look where your journeys have taken you. Our alumni are keeping communities informed through journalism, shaping the future of media and emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, helping people regain their voice and ability to communicate. They're building businesses, and perhaps most important and tied to our land grant mission at Michigan State, they are strengthening communities across our state, the country, and around the world. And I am so grateful for everything that our faculty and staff here in this room accomplish. And the screen just went. There we go. When I look out at the crowd this evening and our remarkable awardees, I see something powerful. I see the arc of the ComArtSci journey come full circle. Students preparing to launch their paths, the alumni whose achievements we celebrate tonight, and so many of you who have chosen to give back through your time, talent, and treasure so that the next generation can benefit from the same opportunities that you once had. It is an endless circle of connection, mentorship, and shared pride in what this college stands for. One such Spartan alum has been a spirited champion of this college, our students and alums, and it is my pleasure to welcome him to the stage for his final time as MC of this remarkable night, but we know he won't be a stranger to ComArtSci. So please join me in welcoming back to the stage my friend, 2018 Outstanding Alumni Honoree, the president of the ComArtSci Alumni Board, and proud School of Journalism alum, Matt Davis.
Okay, I will find out who gave Dean Heidi that baby picture, but it's a true picture. As a baby, I took my very first step in the world out in front of Beaumont Tower, and I took my first step into the real world after graduating here. And I know what all of you are thinking is, what happened to that cute boy? Grew up to be like this. Thank you, Dean Heidi. It is bittersweet. This is my last year as president of the Alumni Board, therefore my last year emceeing. I know some of you have been here before. Say thank God. Don't have to put up with his sense of humor anymore. But we are thrilled to be here tonight celebrating this incredible class. They just get better and better, all the honorees. And there's a legendary line from Stan Lee that says, "With great power comes great responsibility," and that couldn't be more fitting, not just for our honorees, but for all the communications, ComArtSci alumni, faculty, staff, and students who use their talents to inform, inspire, and innovate. We have a great responsibility. So I want to take a moment to recognize and give gratitude. These type of events don't happen without some partners and people willing to help behind the scenes to make this event special. And so I'd like to thank our gold sponsors, the JRT Agency, thank you, Mark, Driftwood Leadership, Publicis Media, celebrating David Calkins, our silver sponsors, ComArtSci Alumni Board, Lori Hiltz, the wonderful Lori Hiltz, a graduate and a member of our board of directors, the State News, celebrating Suzette Hackney, Summit Electric, and WKAR, and our bronze partners, Recharge Pilates, Shana Roofing and Sheet Metal, and United Wholesale Mortgage. Can you please help me in thanking them for making this event possible? So tonight we do celebrate the highlights of each honoree from the stage, and I invite you to read their complete bio, which are in the booklet. We also have them online. You're only going to get to see a snapshot of these incredible people. So let's get the party started. We're excited to begin. We start with the Rising Star Award, which highlights a Spartan whose journey is just beginning and whose early accomplishments already show extraordinary potential. This awardee is a graduate in the last decade, the last 10 years, but who's quickly making a mark. So please help me welcome to the stage a member of our ComArtSci Advisory Board to help introduce our first Rising Star Award. So first up, the best dressed man in show business and a person whose star has already risen, Mark Bellissimo, who is a board member and a 2022 Outstanding Honoree. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Matt. Good evening, everybody. Every so often, you meet someone whose story reminds you of what's possible, not just with talent, but with mindset, resilience, and purpose. And Mario McLean is one of those people. It is my absolute pleasure to recognize him tonight as our 2026 Rising Star. Now, Mario has built a career around one simple but powerful idea: show up prepared. A proud Detroit native and communication graduate, Mario serves as regional manager for Dish Network and is a founder of Sweet Life, a custom menswear brand focused, on helping men present their best through style, confidence, and excellence. Now, throughout his work and his mentorship, he's committed to helping others think bigger, grow intentionally, and define success on their own terms. And of course, I just have to throw in that while we recognize him for his impact tonight, it's safe to say he makes me and every one of you guys here look really underdressed and very possibly completely unstylish. So please join me in congratulating the 2026 Rising Star Award recipient, Mario McLean. You're up, Chief.
No, really, have your seats, Thanks. Hey, good evening. First and foremost, I would like to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, who is the head of my life. I also want to thank the College of Communication, Arts and Sciences, the Alumni Board, and Spartan Nation for this incredible honor. I'm deeply honored to receive the Rising Star Award, and if my journey says anything, it's this. Sometimes you don't start as a star, but if you keep reaching, believing, and showing up, God will still make you rise. Now, when I hear the phrase rising star, I can't help but think of that old song by Earth, Wind, and Fire that goes, "You're a shining star, no matter who you are, shining bright to see what you can truly be." All right, now I'm not gonna sing the full song. I'll spare you. But the message matters because stars don't suddenly appear. They've been there all along. And sometimes they're just surrounded by too much noise, too many expectations, and too much light from places that were never meant for them. I'll be honest, standing here tonight, surrounded by such accomplished alumni, part of me feels like I don't belong. Not because I'm not good enough, but because I remember exactly where I started. And for a long time, I thought something was wrong with me. I felt like an imposter, especially when I'm the only one in the room who looked like me or come from where I come from. But then I realized I wasn't failing to fit in. I was never made to. And that realization is why I created a custom suit business, because nothing meaningful in this world was ever meant to be mass produced. We aren't off-the-rack people trying to squeeze into someone else's standard. We're custom made. And darkness doesn't create stars, it reveals them. And what people call rising is often just a moment someone finally stops dimming themselves to make others feel comfortable. So, if I can leave you with one thing tonight, it's this: where you start does not disqualify you from where God is taking you. Don't dim your light, shine fully. Because when you do, you don't take light away from anyone else. You give them permission to turn up their own brightness. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the people who have helped illuminate my own path. I'll start. My freshman business 101 professor, who have become my lifelong mentor, Helen Dashney. Helen and her husband, Mac Dashney, believed in me early on. Their belief helped create the Mario McLean Endowed Scholarship here at Michigan State. We've already had 4 recipients of this award, and one is Jawan Calloway, who could not be here, and the other one is Lakari Simpson. This is the first time where we have had 2 recipients take on this award, so it's quite an honor. And that's Legacy in Motion. I also want to say thank you as well to Wyatt Schrock for nominating me. Also to Ed Tillett, to Lauren, for Darian, who have opened doors for me to build my custom suit business and work with some incredible athletes here at MSU. And most importantly, I want to thank my wife, Amber, for your prayers, for your patience, and for being by my side since we were teenagers, as we continue building this life together. I am forever grateful. Thank you for this honor, and go green.
We got the song. We got the song playing. You know, Mario, it could have been really embarrassing tonight because at the hotel, I had those gold shoes out and I had the black shoes out, and I asked my wife, Kathleen, black or gold? She goes, go with the black. It could have been really, I keep telling you, 42 long. 42 long. There is nothing wrong with you, my friend. And I don't know if we should even say rising star. You are a star, and thank you for all you're doing. And by the way, Mario's only the 20th rising star that we've honored, so he's joining a very small yet illustrious group. So congratulations, Mario. And now let's turn our attention to a group of Spartans whose journey continues to shape and elevate ComArtSci community. Our outstanding alumni, recipients, and honorees, and now each year, the award celebrates graduates who have carved out remarkable paths in their professions while continuing to invest their time, talent, and heart back into the college. Their stories remind us that Spartans' experience doesn't end when you graduate. It grows, it evolves, it reverberates in the work that they do, the lives that they touch. With this year's class, we have now honored 261 incredible alumni with this award since the inception in the 1970s. So it's an exceptional group. If you think about, there's more than 60,000 alumni of the ComArtSci College. So again, very small. Dean Heidi and I don't like to use the word elite because we feel everyone who comes to this college is elite. We call you the best of the best. So these individuals do represent the very best of what it means to be a Spartan and be committed, creative, and driven to make an impact. So, to help introduce tonight's honorees, I'm delighted to start out with my dear friend from Switzerland, Arun Singha, who is an alumni board member as well, and also a 2022 honoree to the stage. I think there's a pattern here. You and Mark, must have been a good year, Arun.
Thanks, Matt. It's all because of Switzerland. So, how do you follow Mario? Come on, Mario, you should introduce everybody here. It's my pleasure to introduce our first outstanding alumni honoree. Would you change that, please? Yeah, now, thank you. Is Martin Brodsky. Now, we all are into communication field, but Martin does even a higher calling than that. He really works on improving 2 things, 2 essential human abilities: the ability to swallow and breathe safely. Would you believe that? A 2-time Michigan State graduate. Dr. Brodsky serves as a section head of pathology at the Cleveland Clinic, and you're also an adjunct associate professor at Johns Hopkins University, right? But and Martin is also working. His main area of research is advancing the treatment of swallowing, the airway disorders for patients recovering from critical illness. I mean, this is amazing. Through his leadership, research, and mentorship, Martin continues to shape the future of patient care while training the next generation of clinicians. Amazing, you know. Please join me in congratulating the 2026 Outstanding Alumni Award recipient, Dr. Martin Brodsky.
Thank you. I guess some of that's true anyway. Good evening and thank you. I feel truly honored to be here with such an incredible group that I've gotten to know over the past couple days. And I want to congratulate all of this year's recipients. They have been phenomenal. When I found out I was accepted to Michigan State, I wasn't at home and I wasn't checking mail, real mail. That afternoon, my mom knew I was at the high school. And when that letter arrived, you know, the one that comes in the thick envelope, that was back then, right? It always meant good news, or so we thought. She brought it straight to West Bloomfield High School, where I was living, where my friends and I were building our homecoming float, green and white, of course, because that was our school colors. It's a premonition, maybe. There I was, helping the final touches on our ship-themed float being placed as we were trying to get the mast of the float under the electrical wires so that we could enter the stadium. And that was for the halftime parade, when my mom arrived with that letter that would ultimately change my life. In that moment, there was that surprise of that letter arriving. And then after I read it, two things set in very clearly: complete excitement and utter relief that the waiting was finally over. Looking back, that moment feels fitting because my path to MSU, through MSU, has been a story of transitions. I arrived on campus as a pre-med student, taking chemistry and biology all the way through my sophomore year. Like many pre-med students, I of course lived in Case Hall, the home of James Madison College, which is focusing on politics and public affairs, right? Because that's where pre-med lives. It was, of course, the reason I chose my roommate over the location, but in hindsight, maybe that wasn't the best strategic conclusion I could have made. It made perfect sense to me at the time, though. As a result, my classes were scattered across campus. Psychology and biology were at the vet clinic, organic chemistry at Conrad, each about a brisk 20-minute walk that felt forever in the month of February. While I was going through the motions of pre-med, I still needed a major. That's when, in the winter quarter of my sophomore year, I signed up for an Intro to Communication Disorders in Brody Hall. That's another delightful walk from Case in February. And into a course taught by Dr. Paul Cook, filling in for Dr. Leo Deal at the time during his sabbatical. And somewhere between that class and conversations with Dr. Cook, everything changed. That moment, I found my direction. Over the next 5 years, I completed both my BA and my MA in Audiology and Speech Science, or then known as ASC, thanks to mentors like Dr. Cook and Dr. Deal, who didn't just teach, they changed trajectories. Today, I'm a clinician, a speech-language pathologist, and a scientist who studies the interaction of airway, voice, and swallowing in critically ill patients. But if I'm being honest, what I really do is try to help people through transitions, from illness to recovery, from silence to voice, from uncertainty to stability. And that idea, transitions, brings me back to Michigan State. From quarters to semesters, from ASC to CSD, from student to colleague, and finally from mentee to mentor. But the most important lesson I learned that winter quarter wasn't about coursework. Rather, it was this: Get to know your professors because one of them is going to change your life. For me, that made all the difference. Every path is shared, and every success is built with others. I want to thank my wife, Renee, and my daughter, Marissa, my greatest supporters and my greatest inspiration. To the CSD faculty, past and present, thank you for building something that lasts far beyond a classroom. And to the alumni board, thank you for this honor and for continuing to ask the most important question, who will? Because if there's one thing I've learned from a high school float to Case Hall to today, it's this: Spartans will. They always have, and because of that, the only question that remains is, who's next? Thank you, and go green.
Is it true, Martin, that you were so amazed when you got Dean Heidi's call that you said that news is hard to swallow? Is that too soon? Maybe not soon enough. See, I've told you you're going to be really glad when I'm gone. All joking aside, when you step back and look what we can do coming out of this college, and you'll continue to see it tonight, but to go from what Mario's done to what the doctor has done, we cover the world, folks, okay? So congratulations, Martin. Now I'm pleased to welcome my very dear friend Maddie May from the Alumni Board, again, to the stage to introduce our next honoree, Maddie.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you and good evening. I am truly humbled to recognize our next outstanding alum, Dave Calkins. Now, Dave has spent his career building partnerships, teams, and relationships that move businesses forward. As president of growth at Publicis Media, Dave has been central to this company's rise as the world's largest advertising company, driving over $100 million worth of new business and having an industry-leading pitch conversion rate. The wins include Hershey, Coca-Cola, Mars, Meta, and more. Beyond his professional achievements, Dave also founded Project Playground, mobilizing more than 1,000 volunteers to renovate playgrounds across Detroit. He currently serves on the board of Chicago's Off the Street Club and gives back to MSU ComArtSci through speaking, teaching, mentoring the next generation of Spartan leaders. Please join me in congratulating the 2026 Outstanding Alumni Award recipient, Dave Calkins.
Well, wow, I don't have a PhD and I don't have gold shoes. But let's see what we can do here. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. The challenge that I have now, though, is to fit a 30-year story into a 3-minute speech. When I got the call about this nomination, my first thought was, they clearly didn't look at my transcripts. My second thought was, they probably did look at my transcripts and decided to bet on determination over credentials. That's the Michigan State difference. I grew up not too far from here in Grand Rapids, where nobody in my immediate family or friends went to college. At one point, I went to an alternative high school because I was kicked out of my regular public high school. I had made some bad decisions. So bad that in August of 1994, when I was 16 years old, I found myself looking out of a jail cell window in Detroit. Detroit. And that wasn't the first or last time I had been behind bars, wondering if my life was already over before it really began. But I was determined to have a different life. A year later, I stepped on this campus for the very first time for a family member's wedding. But that weekend, it was I who fell in love. This is where I belonged. After I graduated high school, my mom came to me. She said, Dave, you've got 2 choices: work or go to school. I didn't care for my job in fast food. I barely graduated high school, but I decided to take some courses at Grand Rapids Community College. And then I applied to MSU. Of course, on my first attempt, I was rejected I wasn't let in. So I called Laura, the admissions officer. She told me what courses to take. She told me what grades to get. So I took those courses, I got those grades, and I applied again. I was rejected again, now twice. When my mom came to me, she said, Dave, why don't you try Western Michigan or Grand Valley? I just shook my head and I walked away. That wasn't an option. Michigan State was my only destination, and I was more determined than ever. After a very direct conversation with Laura, I applied for a third time, and I waited, and I waited. And on the very first day of classes in August of 1997, I got the call. I was accepted. And now I'm standing here receiving an Outstanding Alumni Award. I am living proof that winners are created through determination. Dean Heidi, President Davis, Kristen, Jordan, Matthew, Molly, faculty donors, and Maddie May, who nominated me, thank you. To Jill and Cam, Andy and Laura, Preston and Aiden, Dan and Kristen, Jake and Bella, thank you for being here. And to Haley and Elise, thank you for celebrating what happens when someone recognizes determination and rewards it. When I took my first advertising courses here, everything just clicked. Linda Gregg, who taught media here for many years, she gave me my first real job at her small media agency. She told me the most important brand you will ever work on is you. Linda passed away last fall, but her lessons live on. Identify your beliefs and live them with unwavering determination. MSU teaches us that determination beats credentials, that winning is getting back up every time. Elise, I hope you learn that determination is the difference maker, that when you refuse to quit, anything is possible. I lead business development at Publicis. We became the world's largest advertising company because we don't quit. We apply 3 times. That same Michigan State determination. So here's what I'm asking you. Look for determination in others and reward it. Notice who applies 3 times. Notice who won't quit. Then give them the chance that they're fighting for. This award belongs to my parents who never went to college, but they supported my dream. To Linda Gregg, who saw something worth investing in. To Elise, who's learning that determination isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you become when you refuse to give up. To Michigan State for saying yes in that 3rd application. And to everyone who believes that where you start doesn't determine where you finish. Determination does. Look for determination in others and reward it, because somewhere right now there is a kid sitting behind bars wondering if their life is already over. And maybe if someone sees their determination and gives them a chance 30 years from now, they'll have 3 minutes and they'll be standing here too. Thank you and go green.
Wow, I think he dropped the mic as he left. Yeah. David, I would make fun of you, but I don't want to make fun of anybody with a record. So while you were talking, I actually Googled determination and your picture popped up. Wow. And I'll bet you would have applied for a 4th time and a 5th time. So good on you. You deserve to be here. Thank you. Up next, I'd like to invite to the stage a board member, Kari Peterson, who's also the chair of our Marketing and Communications Committee, and she will introduce our next honoree. Kari.
Thank you, Matt. It's my pleasure to introduce our next honoree, Susi Elkins. Susi has spent her career strengthening public media as a trusted resource for communities across the country. She now serves as Senior Vice President of Station Services at PBS. She leads national strategies that help member stations innovate, collaborate, and better serve their audiences. Before joining PBS, she spent more than 2 decades at WKAR Public Media, starting as a student employee and ultimately serving as Director of Broadcasting and General Manager. Fittingly, we celebrate her here tonight in the WKAR studios where much of that journey began. Please join me in congratulating the 2026 Outstanding Alumni Award recipient, Susi Elkins.
Well, the more I listen to my fellow honorees, the more and more proud I am to be here with all of you. So thank you so much. It's an honor to be here. Congratulations to all of my fellow honorees, and thank you to Dean Hennick-Kaminsky and the Alumni Board, ComArtSci faculty and staff and students, to Sean Turner and the whole WKAR team for hosting us this evening. It just feels really incredible to be here tonight. And there's truly so many people responsible for me standing here tonight. Literally, I thought of hundreds of people that have helped me on my journey, and I would love to list you all. I would love to thank you all tonight, but my training at ComArtSci tells me that that probably wouldn't be a great experience for all of you. So instead, I've been reaching out to folks privately to express what I hope they already know. And it's just that I'm simply grateful for the role that all the individuals have played in my life to help me get to here tonight, to be with you. So that I really feel like that's the true gift of an award like this, to be able to take the opportunity to feel deep gratitude toward those who have helped you along in your journey. And I know all of my fellow honorees have been doing that over the past couple of days. It's just truly is a gift to be able to think of those folks who have helped us. I think those mentors and friends would just want me to tell you a little story. So I'm gonna start with preschool. I won't take you every day through my life, but in preschool, I could not wait to come home to a triangle of peanut butter and jelly and a glass of milk and Sesame Street. I have very vivid memories of this. Super Grover was my hero, and I loved Snuffy and Big Bird too. And of course, there was Mr. Rogers, and he had this extraordinary gift of looking right through the TV screen and making me feel like the most important kid in the world. And these friends made me feel special and like I could do anything. So when I arrived here at MSU as a college student in this very studio and started working for WKAR, a PBS station, it felt like destiny. I knew I was meant to be here in this room. I had more enthusiasm than knowledge at the time, but I grew from that uncertain student into the leader of this very organization that first welcomed me in. I worked at WKAR for 27 years, always learning, always growing, always inspired to look at new ways to deepen our service to Michigan State University, always inspired by all of the students that would come through our studios and give us the chance to work with them and learn from them. And I just, have been taking the time to think, and I want you to imagine the kind of people it takes to nurture that type of growth and development. So I stayed in one place for 27 years, but I'm here receiving this award because I had people that really believed in me. And I still marvel at the patience and the kindness I was shown by my WKAR colleagues. The shared expertise, the generosity of spirit that says, I see something in you, even when you can't see it in yourself. That Spartan spirit eventually gave me the confidence and fearlessness to step out of a world I knew and loved for 27 years to join the world of finance and the team at MSU Federal Credit Union. So how many of you with telecom, media, or communications degrees are not stellar mathematicians? How many? All right. I am certainly no exception, and it was scary and a little bit daunting, but can you guess what happened? Of course you can guess, because the credit union team, they are Spartans too. So I was met with kindness and patience by people willing to invest in me. And what a joy it was to get to work with the community partners I'd known through WKAR and to have the chance to give back through the financial and community impact resources of the credit union. And that's really when it crystallized for me. A meaningful life is about building and maintaining authentic relationships. People will help you accomplish your dreams when you genuinely care about and support theirs. And that lesson brought me full circle and eventually to where I am now at PBS headquarters in Virginia, supporting 330 PBS stations just like WKAR in their communities across the country. And it's not a small moment in time for public media. The challenges are real and the stakes are high. But it's an honor to fight for these stations to ensure they remain strong in their local communities for generations to come. And boy, has that Spartan grit and determination come in handy. I draw from it every single day. And the more expertise and wisdom I gain over the years, the more I realize I will always consider myself a student. So thank you to Michigan State for cultivating that mindset in me. And finally, I'm extremely grateful to my family. I know my parents were so proud of me. And I want to thank my brothers, Mike and Jeff, for forcing me to develop a strategic mindset as a survival strategy. How many of you have older, bigger brothers? Any of you? Some of you are probably those older, bigger brothers. So when you are no match physically, you got to get smart, right? You got to be strategic if you want to mess with them. You have to get creative. So case in point, Mike and his wife Angie are here tonight, and it's Mike's birthday today. And I could think of no better gift than to arrange for all of this to happen so he could be here to listen to me talk about myself. So happy birthday, Mike. You're welcome. It's only at Michigan State can a story like mine unfold. And I met my husband, Tim, here. We raised our family here. Amelia and Alex are both Spartans, with Alex crossing the stage at Breslin in just a couple of weeks. And we built an incredible life here that continues to flourish no matter where we are, because it's rooted in this community and supported by lifelong friends, neighbors, and colleagues. So many of you are here in the room tonight, and I'm so grateful. So thank you to Tim, my true partner in every sense of the word, in work and in life and in parenthood, and every pivot that we've taken together. None of this happens without you, none of it. And to my fellow honorees tonight, congratulations. It's an honor to share this with all of you, and I join you in recognizing and thanking our ComArtSci faculty, staff, and students, and the Alumni Board for setting us out on a path of excellence. How lucky we are, truly. And thank you for once again making me feel so special tonight. Thanks.
That award was brought to you by the letters S and E. And the number 5 honorees. If you're younger than 30, you don't have no idea what that means. But Susie, thanks for the important work you're doing with PBS to keep, I remember being educated by Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers, and so by keeping that alive, you're doing important work, and we appreciate it, so congratulations. Now I'd like to invite my dear friend Lori Hiltz to introduce our next outstanding alumni honoree, and Lori is also a board member, and she's our incoming vice president of the board, so please.
Okay, I'm a post-menopausal 1982 graduate of Michigan State University, and I'm telling you, these honorees, I'm just sobbing and I'm sweating, and you're making my heart beat, and I'm just so damn proud to be a part of this university. The other reason why I'm standing here is because I was a newspaper carrier in the city of Detroit and then the city of Oak Park, Michigan, carrying both the Free Press and the Detroit News, and that money that I saved was my deposit in June of 1978 to come to Michigan State University. So there is something that Suzette and I share, and that's the passion for the printed word. Okay, technicians, I'm ready for you. Okay, our next outstanding alumni award goes to Suzette Hackney. Suzette has built a career telling the stories that help our nation better understand itself. Now a national columnist for USA Today, she elevates lesser heard voices at the center of some of the country's most important and relevant conversations. Her journey includes serving as the first Black woman editor and editor-in-chief of the State News, which I still love. I read it online, okay? It's amazing. And if you're not subscribing to it right now, get on it, because it keeps you in tune and in the heartbeat of what's happening on this campus. That's not in my thing, but I'm reading it anyway. Suzette's work has earned national recognition, including the most important Emmy Award and Edward R. Murrow Awards and honors for the National Association of Black Journalists. Tonight, we celebrate a voice that continues to inform, to challenge, and inspire readers across the country and the globe. Please join me in congratulating the 2026 Outstanding Alumni Award recipient, my new friend, and I get free papers, from Suzette, Hackney. Oh, sorry. We both forgot. We're gonna pose.
Good evening, everyone. I am so honored to accept this Outstanding Alumni Award. I would like to thank the College of Communication, Arts and Sciences Alumni Advisory Board, Dean Heidi, and Senior Director of Development, Kristen McGrath. And a special thanks to Dr. Tim Voss, the Director of the School of Journalism, and the person kind enough to nominate me for this award. I'd also like to thank J School Professor Danielle Brown, who wrote a letter of support. And many, many congratulations to my co-recipients. I am proud to share this honor with you. It feels good to be home. There's a special vibration I experience when I'm back on campus. It's the same one I felt when I was a student here. The first time I visited campus, I felt it. Of course, I fell in love with the beauty here. A river runs through the campus. But once I stepped inside this building and grabbed a copy of the State News, I knew this was the place for me. Once I got my first term under my belt, terms, does anyone remember those? I felt ready to apply to the State News. I was warned almost immediately. Freshmen are never hired, but I was. And I started my second term at MSU as a State News intern. I stacked all of my classes in the mornings so that I could arrive at the newspaper by 1:30 p.m. I would do this for 4 years. I was appointed editor-in-chief my senior year, and as mentioned, I was the first Black woman to run the State News. What a training ground for excellence. A daily and aggressive student newspaper, and a J school rich with knowledge, knowledgeable instructors, and a rigorous curriculum. I would not be the journalist that I am today without this foundation. I witnessed how solid journalism could change laws and lives. It sounds cheesy, but I became a journalist because I believed I could help change the world. And I have. At least little corners of the world, because it's ultimately about helping others. I'm proud that my profession oozes altruism. I'm honored to fight for those with muted voices. These are the professional values I learned here. I am incredibly grateful to all of my Michigan State professors and to the late Stan Soffin, who was the director of the School of Journalism when I started here at MSU. I remember as a freshman, my maternal grandmother died, and my family had to travel to Georgia to bury her. I missed a week of classes and I fell behind on all my assignments. I didn't know what to do. But I remember Dr. Soffin telling us freshmen during an orientation that his door was always open. So I made an appointment to see him. I walked in nervous. I introduced myself and said tearfully, I had my grandmother die. His response, well, why would you go and do something like that? I had been staring down at my hands and I looked up in a fright. Did I just say that? And wait, did he just say that? I saw his eyes glinting from behind his glasses and I saw the smile spread across his lips. We laughed together, and then he walked me through everything I needed to do to get back on track. See, this is how a special school within a larger college takes care of its students attending a massive university like this. He could have easily sent me to an academic advisor, but Dr. Soffin, the director of the School of Journalism, took the time to assist little me, a bumbling freshman. That is the spirit of this university. Spartans will. I call this home because it is. It's the place where I learned about life, where I became obsessed with my craft, and where I met a new family and community that changed me forever. I would be remiss if I didn't send a heavenly thank you to my sister Sonia and to my mother Lillian. They were my biggest supporters in life and now in death. I feel their arms wrapped around me this evening and all of yours. Thank you, and go green.
Wow, thank you, Lori, because as she left the stage, she said, everyone here tonight's getting a one-year subscription to the USA Today, so you get a I'm joking, don't take that away. You are a true pioneer, my friend. If you haven't read her complete bio, we could go on and on, but what you have done in your career, and you shared with the students your resilience too, because there was a time where you had to pause your college career and come back to it. Back to David's determination, yours is resilience, which is amazing. I'd be remiss if I didn't point out your Dr. Soffin story got me. He was my advisor as well. But that's not an exception. That's a rule in this college, and it's happening today under Dean Heidi's leadership. Our faculty and staff do that consistently, and that's why our students want to come to this college. So I think we all could stack up stories, but that's a wonderful one. And for him to say, why did you go and let that happen? It's amazing. So thank you and congratulations. I'd like to invite Christy Shana, chair of our development committee for the Alumni Board and fellow 2018 honoree, to introduce our final but not last alumni honoree.
Last, but certainly not least, we'd like to recognize Ann Thomas. Ann Thomas has spent more than 4 decades as one of Detroit's most trusted voices in radio. She now serves as program director at WJR, where her career began as an intern and grew to include roles as a producer, reporter, anchor, and executive producer, earning honors from the Associated Press, United Press International, and the Detroit Press Club. She also produced the WJR, Michigan State University tailgate shows for 15 seasons and created Women Who Lead, a platform celebrating women across Michigan making a difference. Tonight, we celebrate a voice that has informed, connected, and inspired communities for generations. Please join me in congratulating the 2026 Outstanding Alumni Award recipient, Ann Thomas.
Good evening, everyone. In the fall of 1978, when I stepped onto this beautiful Michigan State campus and unpacked my bags at Rather Hall in the Brody complex, I would never, and I mean never, ever have dreamed that I would be standing here accepting this award. So I want to congratulate all of my fellow award winners. I am so impressed with all of you. You guys are incredible. I was a Mercy girl from Farmington Hills, getting ready to live in an all-girls dorm. So let's just say that I had led a relatively sheltered life. It even took me a minute to get used to having boys in the classroom. I say this because Michigan State is the place where I grew up and helped form who I am today. I learned to take an opportunity and run with it, to connect with people, to show up, to pick myself up after a fall, and to work to make a difference in our communities. As a freshman at Michigan State, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. For the first couple of months, I was homesick, I mean really homesick. And then with the encouragement of my family and my dear grandma Veronica, I opened my eyes to the incredible opportunities this university offers all students. I started in speech and audiology and eventually found my way into broadcasting. Along the way, I worked the early morning shift. I'm the one that worked at the MSU bakery, something that I think actually prepared me for the 24 years of working the morning show with Paul W. Smith on WJR. I first learned about broadcasting right here at WKAR. I started at WJR in 1982 as a MSU intern, and I never left. And you know, when we talk about WJR and MSU, know that I am extremely proud of the important and impactful relationship between these two great brands in the state of Michigan. Together, we've told stories about MSU's impact on the community. We've celebrated this university's great athletic accomplishments, and it has been one of the great privileges of my career to help strengthen that partnership. This award is deeply meaningful to me because it represents not just what I've done, but where I came from. MSU has always been a part of me, and tonight it feels especially true. And I want to thank everyone who played a role in bringing me here tonight, Dean Heidi, Matt Davis, the Alumni Board, all of the incredible people behind the scenes, Kristen, Jordan, and Matthew. I could go on and on, Molly. And I also want to thank Christy Shana. Christy is the person that nominated me. She's the founder of Kids on the Go, and I am just really, really grateful. Thank you. I also want to say thank you to fellow Spartan Terry Radigan. He was part of the nomination process, and Steve Finateri, my boss at Cumulus in Detroit. And finally, I'd like to thank my brother Tim, my sister-in-law Mary Lynn, and the family. They are fellow Spartans for coming here tonight. And of course, I also deeply, deeply thank my husband, Ed Battersby, and my children, Helen, Josh, Brian, Colleen, Patty, Veronica, and Johnny, for supporting me every single day so that I could be a part of the Spartan story. Thank you.
Maybe you never dreamed when you were unpacking Raider Hall that you would be standing here, but absolutely you deserve to be here. So congratulations and thanks for the work you're doing at a real gem for Michigan, WJR. I've often been told I have a face for radio, so maybe I had a voice for print. So thank you, and congratulations. Congratulations to all of our honorees. And your achievements inspire us. I mean, I saw some tears tonight, so certainly your ongoing connection to the college, it strengthens everything we do, and we're especially grateful for the ways you continue to show up for this college, for our students, guiding them and encouraging them and opening doors to help them complete their education and prepare to launch their careers. Tonight, we've honored remarkable innovators, Spartans who are shaping our future in media, in communications, in fashion design, bold ideas, unwavering creativity. So to our 2026 honorees and to our students, faculty, alumni, you inspire us. In the face of change, Spartans don't just keep up. We push forward. We build, we lead with uncommon will, that Spartan will we talk about, because that's what we do. Now, before we end the evening, I'd like to welcome Dean Heidi back to the stage one more time to say a few closing words.
Thank you, Matt. I think you need to come back up on stage and join me for a minute. And I'm also going to invite Brian O'Connor up. Brian is our ComArtSci Alumni Fellow and a faculty member.
Thank you, Dean Heidi. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, as we've celebrated our alumni, we've really witnessed the talent, the leadership, and the achievement that distinguishes who we are as Spartans. And from time to time, we are given the opportunity to recognize people whose impact on this college has been shaped over many years through belief, generosity, and service. Matt, my friend and fellow Spartan, you have long believed that giving back is a part of what it means to be a Spartan. And together with Kathleen, you have lived that belief with extraordinary consistency and heart. Kathleen, dear friend, would you please join us on stage? Together, Matt and Kathleen have invested in the future of ComArtSci in ways that are both meaningful and lasting. Through their philanthropy, their leadership, and their belief in what this college makes possible, they have helped strengthen programs, support students, and expand opportunity. For those of us who have been fortunate enough to serve alongside Matt, you also know that this commitment extends far beyond their giving. Even with a demanding professional life, Matt has always made it a priority to serve the college, offering his time, his leadership, and his voice in service to ComArtSci and our students. And I know through personal experience and the privilege of calling them friends that how that is made possible is through the extraordinary partnership they have as a couple. So before we end the evening, it feels especially fitting that we pause to honor two people who together have given so much of themselves to help the college and its community thrive. And so it is my honor to ask Dean Heidi to make a special presentation.
Matt, for much of this evening, you have helped us celebrate others. But tonight, we also have the privilege of celebrating you and Kathleen. All of us have seen the way you tirelessly advocate for this college and bring your skills and your leadership to the table. You lead with humility, with consistency, and with conviction. And Kathleen, we know this is a shared story. You have joined us as Spartans with shared values and a shared belief in being a Spartan and in this college. And together, you have created incredible impact. Matt, your relationship with the college began humbly. In June of 1988, you made your first gift. How much? $7.50.
That's all I had. All I had. I gave it all.
And what mattered was not the amount. What mattered was what it stood for, and it stood for belief. And that belief grew over time into a transformative gifts to the college, including the R. Matt Davis Excellence Endowment. And what makes this story so exceptional is not your generosity, which is significant, but it is the service and the leadership and helping to steer the ship and make us the best that we can be. That is commitment, and that combination is rare, and it sets an example. So tonight, in recognition of your sustained leadership, your philanthropic commitment, and enduring belief in the mission of this college, it is my honor to present the inaugural ComArtSci Philanthropist Award to Matt and Kathleen Davis.
You got me.
He's speechless.
Yes. Matt, I know you're speechless, but would you like to say a few words?
Now I have to talk. I'm blown away. We don't do it for recognition. We do it because we love this university and this college, and I'm going to miss what we've got. I'm still going to be involved, but maybe. Depends if Kathleen lets me, but you know, some of the stories, and I won't go deep into it, but I should not be standing here in front of all of you. I come from basically a broken family. Nobody ever went to college, and you know, like all of you that spoke tonight, I said I'm going to do it, and I'm going to push, and I've got one of the best partners in life right here that allows these type of things to happen. So I don't know what else to say, but thank you so much. I'm so honored. Thank you. Oh, all right.
You have a show to finish.
I know. Damn allergy season. God damn. Now you want me to close out this effing thing? Anyway. Oof. Thank you all for witnessing that. So we have some past alumni honorees in the audience. Could you just stand up if you've received this honor in the past, please? Awesome. Look at that. And you notice they're past recipients, but they're still here and they're still investing and offering their guidance, opening the doors, and sharing their expertise. So thank you for giving back and your generosity. See, now I can't even talk, through your time and so forth. So if we can continue on with the show, if I can get through it. So go ahead with the, what's our next announcements? Your commitment echoes throughout the classroom, studios, programs, at every single day. And I thank you for your continued support of what we're trying to do here. Spartan alumni, they're special. They're leading ways and challenging and pushing boundaries and embarrassing recipients in front of your wife and all that. I'd like to also recognize some of the ComArtSci staff who have made this evening possible. They've been mentioned a couple of times, but I want to give a special recognition to a small but mighty team that puts this on. Kristen, Matthew, Molly, and Jordan, and also thank you to our college Marcom team for their support. Can we give them a round of applause? It literally takes months to put this on. The team starts right after tonight and starts planning for the next one. I also want to thank the partners again. You'll see them up on the screen. Without their financial support, this would not be possible. And if you know of anybody who could be an honoree, we will be accepting applications May 1st for the 2027 class. So they'll be online, and you'll be able to go on there and nominate someone, and we'll have another class next year that will be terrific. So dessert and coffee are going to be available outside, so I ask you stick around, enjoy. But before you leave, we also have another tradition, and I'd like to invite back up the Red Cedar Quartet. And I also like to invite Mackenzie Rosser back to the stage for the traditional singing of our fight song. Go Green, and thank you for being here.
Of the Red Cedar is a school that's known to all. Its specialty is winning, and the Spartans play good ball. Spartan teams are never beaten. All through the game they fight for the only colors, green and white. Go right through for MSU. Watch the points keep growing. Spartan teams are bound to win. They're fighting with a vim. Rah, rah, rah. See, their team is weakening. We're going to win this game. Fight, fight, raw team fight. Victory for MSU.